Well, recently I put out a guide for 7 games like The Legend of Zelda, and that got a very positive reaction, including loads more recommendations of Zelda-likes from you. Well, today I'd like to do a follow-up to that first video and run through 9 more games like The Legend of Zelda, plus also I'm going to shout out a few of your recommendations along the way. Well, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget you can hit that subscribe button down below for loads more Zelda content, including a detailed look at what we want in 2024 from the Zelda franchise, and that includes 11 other Zelda creators. Also, if you want early access and exclusive content plus loads of other benefits as well, click that join button down below for more information. Without further delay, let's dive into the list of 9 more games like The Legend of Zelda, and we're going to kick things off with Kena Bridge of Spirits. So at the heart of this game, Kena Bridge of Spirits is an action-adventure game. So you've got puzzles and boss battles, and at times it feels like a throwback to a PlayStation 3 era game. Given it's not really open world, it's more of a series of set pieces and corridors through levels. However, there is a really high level of polish, and I think it's good enough to check out. The first thing that really hits you is the striking beauty of Kena Bridge of Spirits. It's a very good looking game, most likely rooted in Ember Labs' past as a 3D animation house, so they are clearly inspired by The Legend of Zelda, and Ember Labs went as far to create a fan film based on Majora's Mask called A Terrible Fate. So if you haven't seen it before, you should definitely check it out. I'll link it down below in the description. Since then, Ember Labs have gone on a journey to make Kena Bridge of Spirits, and it's their first game and a really decent start on PlayStation 5 and PC. Well, the game was developed by Ember Labs. It was released in 2021, and thanks to Keith Castillo for that recommendation. Well, next up we got Blossom Tales. So Blossom Tales follows the adventures of Lily, a Knight of the Rose, and tasked with saving the kingdom of the Blossom. So you're going to find weapons, solve puzzles, and take on the evil beasts in the kingdom to save the day. So in a throwback to Princess Bride, the story is narrated by Lily's grandfather, and as Lily and her brother sit by a fire and listen to their grandfather tell the story, you can choose some of the action. For example, do you want to take on a gang of golems, or do you want to take on a load of archers? Well, the game is a wonderful tribute to the 2D era of The Legend of Zelda, so you've got recognisable elements including hearts, weapons, puzzles, dungeons, and also bosses. However, even though it is comparable, it is a great game in its own right. So the developer was Castle Pixel, originally released in 2017. So thank you to Maxon Swilfer for this recommendation, and also Square Star as well. Well, next up we got Lil Gator Game. So Lil Gator Game released in 2022, and it is a 3D platform game where the player controls a young alligator who spends their time trying to get their older sister's attention. So the protagonist and the player character is the little gator himself, a curious and outgoing young alligator who enjoys exploring and hanging out with his friends. Well, you can explore a series of islands, each with different inhabitants. You've got side quests as well. You can also earn cardboard money and objects that we use to craft new items that open up new areas of the world. You can climb, you can swim, you can glide to reach new areas. Well, this one was developed by Mega Wobble, released in 2022. I love that name by the developers, by the way, Mega Wobble. That is excellent, and thank you to Blaze Dillon for recommending this game. Well, next up we've got Eastward. So Eastward is a beautifully detailed and charming pixel art adventure RPG. So this one's set in the near future. Society is starting to collapse, and the human population is at an all-time low. So a deadly toxic presence has spread around the land, destroying and devouring everything in its path. But for the hard-working miner and a mysterious young girl, the hope of a thriving outside world beckons. So you follow the story of John and Sam. Now, Eastward's unlikely duo are an exciting adventure to the land above. So you can discover beautiful and bizarre settlements, fight off enemies with John's trusty frying pan or Sam's kinetic blast, and also make new friends as you travel across the world by rail. Well, the game was developed by Pixpill. It was released in 2021. And once again, thank you to Maxon Swilfert for this recommendation. Well, next up we got Oceanhorn. So Oceanhorn, Monster of the Uncharted Seas. Well, Well, this one is an action-adventure game, and it focuses on an unnamed boy protagonist's quest to find his lost father and defeat the living fortress, the Oceanhorn. So both the gameplay and also the design of Oceanhorn really follows closely with the Legend of Zelda. And I'd probably say it's close to a Wind Waker and also a Link to the Past as well. So you can explore dungeons, fight monsters, you've got various weapons, you can throw pots and cut bushes to find hidden coins or hearts. Also, we have a prequel that's called Oceanhorn 2, Knights of the Lost Realm, that was released in September 2019. Where the original Oceanhorn was developed by Corn Fox and Bros, it was released on iOS in 2013, but later was ported to loads of other consoles, and thank you to Ember for that recommendation. Well, next up we've got Hob. So this one is a vibrant atmospheric adventure game, and it's set in a stunning but brutal world in disarray. So as players delve into the mysteries around them, they discover a planet in peril. So Hob is full of mystery and wonder. So you can unravel the planet's mysteries as you explore and interact with strange life forms that inhabit this world. You can solve puzzles and repair the planet. The landscape is going to change before your very eyes, so opening up new areas that you can explore. You can upgrade your mechanical glove arm to reveal new abilities. You've got a grapple, a punch, and you can warp your way all around the world. So this is an adventure in an open world. You can explore ruins, you can make friends with sprites, and you can also battle rogue creatures that threatens everyone's extinction. Well, this one was developed by Runic Games. It was released in 2017. And thank you to Grey Mars for the recommendation, and also Embrando as well. Well, next up we've got a more recent game. This one came out last year. This one is Tchia. So Tchia is a game all about exploring the beautiful South Pacific islands based on New Caledonia. So you play as a child and interact with the world with the same childlike wonder as Tchia might do herself. Now, the world around you is big, it's beautiful, and it's begging to be explored. So in a word, Tchia is charming. Now, at the start of the game, we see photos of New Caledonia. To be honest, I hadn't heard of these islands before, so I not only was entertained while playing the game, I found out something new. I knew about some Pacific islands, but not these ones specifically. And Tchia gives us uneducated the chance to see a little bit of their world, a little bit of their culture, experience the music, the food, the languages, and also art as well. Now, Tchia is one of those games that's going to stick with you long after you played it. The main story is about 7 hours of gameplay, but being immersed in the culture and the values of the people and the families in this game, well, that is going to last much longer in the memory. Well, the game was developed by Awaseb. It was released in 2023, and thanks again to Maxon Swalfert for this recommendation. Well, next up we got Darksiders, and this one was recommended a lot when I put out that first video. So in Darksiders, you play as War, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The world is split into separate locations. You've got different areas. Initially, you can't get to them until later in the game. You've got the center of the world, the Scalding Gallow. That is your hub where War is given new objectives and also paths to unlock new areas, and many of those require new abilities to make sure you can get to those new areas. Although War is initially limited to using his 2-handed sword, the Chaos Eater, he eventually opens up other weapons as well through the course of the game. So he's got a scythe, which he can use as other main offensive weapon. Weapons also have different combinations of attack that can be attained throughout the game. So along with the combos, you are encouraged to use counter moves, blocking, dodging, projectile weapons such as the revolver and also the boomerang style throwing blade. You can also get those weapons, and that is really, really good. Also, objects scattered throughout the environments can be used as weapons, and later on in the game, War gains the ability to summon a horse that provides you easier traversal around your environment. So there's loads of developers on this one. You had THQ Nordic, Vigil Games, Gunfire Games, Airship Syndicate, and also Kaiko. This one was released in 2010, and thank you to Elsie Bartlett for this one, and also Gusherman X. Well, it's time for the final game on the list today, and this one is Crosscode. Well, Crosscode is an action role-playing game where players control Leah, and this one harks back to the 2D versions of The Legend of Zelda. So you can explore an open world where you can either engage in battle or solve puzzles. So during combat and also while solving puzzles, you can switch between different elements, and they grant Leah different puzzle solving and attack abilities. So as the game progresses, you unlock more elements by visiting different dungeons, and each one has a really good boss fight. So the combat system is real time, there's no turn-based combat here. You can either use a melee strike or a ranged ball attack. Players can also dodge or block enemy counterattacks. Attacking earns XP and also circuit points as well. So XP, as you would imagine, increase the player stats, and circuit points can be spent on a circuit board that allows the player to choose between different ability bonuses. So when fighting, players have a rank that increases throughout the battle, and once you get into the higher ranks of the game, you also get rare items and you can heal faster too. So the developer of this one was Radical Fish Games, and also Deck 13, originally came out in 2015, and once again, thanks to Maxon Swolfer for this recommendation. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about these 9 more games like The Legend of Zelda. Let me know if you've got any more. Really want to hear your recommendations. I've added loads of games to my backlog to play that are just like The Legend of Zelda, so if you've got any more ideas, stick them down there in the comments. Well, that is it for this guide today about 9 more games like The Legend of Zelda, and as always, thank you so much for watching or for listening. Don't forget you can hit that subscribe button down below for more Legend of Zelda content. You can also hit that like button too. Well, thanks again, and I will see you real soon.